What's up, Team MVL? It's Music by Lucas.
And Lauren C. Ray, and we're here in Hawaii.
If you want to know what we're up to while we're traveling, you can check out this week's vlog on Lauren's IGTV.
And if you're watching this live with us, head over to our Discord after party after this. We're actually going to be talking to the winner of last year's Afrojack's Global Remix Battle, and he's going to be telling you guys like tips and tricks on how you can win this year's battle.
Yeah.
So it's all about that. I mean, he
won.
Now lives in Amsterdam, and he works exclusively and personally with Afrojack himself. So I think he has some good tips for you guys. So head over there after this.
First, why are vocals even important to have on your music? Well, labels are signing pretty much exclusively tracks that have vocals. Labels also like vocals on your tracks because they make them more marketable.
Yes, because that is the trend right now.
And in my opinion, vocals are what take your track from being an instrumental to being an actual song.
So there are two ways to find vocals. One, you work with a vocalist, and two, you find vocals online with some sort of online website or whatever. So let's discuss exactly why maybe finding vocalists and working with them might be a challenge for people who are watching this video, because a lot of you guys are just starting out, or you don't have the funds, you don't have the connections. It's going to be really hard to find a vocalist. And what are some other reasons that it would be hard to find a vocalist? So basically,
let's say, first thing that most people think is they got to go find a vocalist. So maybe someone from your school, maybe someone online on social media, maybe you go to a website, you try to buy like vocal services.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think about how many complications can come from that situation. The first one is that you got to make sure you obviously find a good vocalist. You have to come up with a price, or you have to write them into the contract with some kind of percentage of how much you're going to give them. The next thing is you have to worry about the lyrics.
Yeah, you got to write the lyrics. Maybe they write their lyrics, they charge you more for that. Maybe you write the lyrics. Are they good enough lyrics? Who knows? Then you got to find a studio to actually record it in. You have to pay for that rental. Maybe not. Maybe you have a connection there, but who cares? You still have to go to the studio.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to record it. You have to make sure it gets good recording. Maybe they'll record the vocals themselves and send it to you. Oh, not a good recording. Now what do? You still work with them?
I've heard a lot of people that pay for the vocals and then the singer sings it in a studio that isn't the best. The recording comes back not the best, and then they can't get a refund, or the vocal just stops. But let's say
perfect case scenario.
Yeah,
let's say there's a perfect case scenario. You get it done, you pay them, you have the vocals, awesome, your track. You submit it to labels. Okay, here's one scenario where you send it to a label and they say, I don't really like the vocalist on the song, can you change it? Or I don't like the lyrics on the song, can you change it?
Right.
Well, now you got to go back through the thing
the loop again, the whole thing.
Or say, another perfect case scenario, they sign the track. Okay, well now, guess who gets involved in the contract dealings?
The singer.
The singer.
And let's say the singer doesn't like it, or let's say the singer likes it, but their manager says, I don't really like this label, it's not a good fit for our singer, I don't really like the contract, maybe it only has this much %, and now you're actually being held back and potentially not being able to sign your track because of someone else.
Yeah, so there's a lot of complications with it. Now the positive side of that is that you have fresh, new, original vocals that no one else can touch and that nobody else has.
But a good tip is that you can get those fresh, original vocals even easier once you start to grow and you get signed and you're already a bigger artist.
Or if the label has somebody, we always use this person.
Right, but that's not going to happen right from the beginning or as you're trying to grow. They're not just going to hand you vocals to record with. But as you start to grow and you have, you have a reputation, then you can start working with the label, and they have their own vocalists that they work with frequently, or you can get samples that they have from older tracks, and you know they're going to have good studios. You know those singers are wanting to work with that label. So that leads us to the main point. Yeah,
so let's talk about the opposite side of this. So you can find vocals that are sung by actual people, as if the final end product of that whole scenario we just walked you through exists on a platform where you can search all of them and find your favorite one, and if the label were to say, oh, I need a new vocal or something like that, or I don't like the lyrics,
swap it out.
You find another one. Okay, so Lucas
this is how I find my vocals.
Yes, you use...
There's different websites, but I use Splice.
Yeah.
So a lot of you guys also use
That's a website
Splice,
that has it.
And I know, like, right away, the first thing that a lot of people are going to say is, but do labels accept songs that have lyrics from Splice? Yes, actually a lot, if not most, of the label releases coming out.
It's so true, and he talked about how, like, if you get signed with a label, sometimes they have their own vocalists they work with, etc. When you get, like, bigger, we know for a fact that bigger artists use Splice. I mean, because we are familiar with the vocals and we hear it in their song, and there you go. So you can't say, well, labels won't accept it or bigger artists don't use it.
Yeah, because we could go on and on and on and on with examples and I'm sure a lot of you guys hear songs on Hexagon or Spinnin' or wherever where you're like, oh yeah, I know that vocal from, or I tried to use that vocal or whatever from Splice.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with using Splice. I know that's like something that's discussed a lot, but actually I'm going to discuss this later.
Yeah.
We're going to do like an after the video on my IGTV.
To go into more detail.
And we're going to go in more detail on like the positive and the negative parts around splice and vocals and stuff. It's kind of like a different video within
the video.
a video.
Another thing that a lot of people are going to say negatively about Splice or about websites where you get vocal samples is that they want to have original vocals and that the vocals aren't going to be unique, and why would you want to have vocals that a bunch of other people use? Well, you wouldn't want to have vocals that a bunch of other people use, so you have to figure out a way to get creative with the vocals that are on the platform.
Yes, but
and that is what I do.
Yes, it's true. That's what you do. But also, like, what are the key elements of why Splice is really good to use?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is that it's 100% royalty free.
Yeah.
All the vocals are recorded professionally, or at least the ones, most of them that are on there, because Spotify Splice curates the packs to make sure only the good packs are getting uploaded, so you know that they're recorded in professional studio.
And there's frequently updated vocals. There's fresh ones coming in all the time.
New ones all the time.
So
I'm always checking.
They basically do all the busy work for you that you don't have to do if you find your own vocalist.
Yeah, exactly. So then you can just focus on the music, which is what you want to do, unless you are a lyricist or you do like to like sing yourself, or you have a friend that you want to work with. That's totally fine.
So let's talk about how you use it. So how do you use it to the point where it almost sounds as if it's an original vocal, as if it's never been used before?
Yeah.
Like that, I think, is the goal with using Splice, and the worry with people is that it won't. So how do you do it? What are some
most
tips?
people, when they hear my tracks and they go, "Where did you get that vocal from?" Other producers and stuff. And
it happens all the time.
Yeah, and I say Splice, and they go, "How?" So first I search my vocals in any key, because I know I can pitch bend the key to fit my track later. A lot of producers don't do this. They only search in the key of their track, like they're writing in A minor, they search in A minor, and then they can't really find enough vocals, and they're like, I can't really seem to find it that fit my song, so I don't know what to do. The next thing is I search recent vocals, and a lot of producers, what they do is when you search on Splice, what you may not know this, but it automatically sorts by popular. So with a kick drum or something like that, having a popular kick drum might be a good idea, because maybe it's a really good kick drum. But you don't want to search popular vocals, because that means a lot of producers are using them. It's going to be really recognizable. And
so avoid the popular
search by
list.
Recent, basically. You can switch up the search criteria. Now, my favorite part, after I've pitch bended and used recent vocals, my favorite thing to do is chop up the vocals. Not a vocal chop where you can't understand what the words are saying, but I like to use different parts of different vocals and put them together so that it sounds like a completely different lyric, and along with the pitch bending and everything else, it makes it sound really original. Now this might sound complicated, it's really not. So basically, if you listen to an acapella or a vocal on Splice, you might only like 8 bars of it. That's what I like to do. I like to search for like my favorite 8 bars. I'm gonna use that 8 bars, and then I'm gonna find other vocals. Typically, you can find vocals from the same singer and actually put them together. So if you find like one singer's pack, they're gonna have hundreds of samples in there. You can find the different pieces of the different vocals and make your own. Like Still in Love is a track where I did that. It's multiple, I think it's like 5 different vocals in one, and it made it sound much more unique. So that is it for this week's video. Remember to comment your tips and what you do for your vocals, and if you're a vocalist and you want to work with producers, be sure to comment that below as well.
And also, our online music school, we do master classes on vocals. In fact, Jordi Rivera just did one on how to process the vocals, so it makes it sound radio quality in your tracks.
Like once you find the vocals, how to do it. And he also showed how to use a vocoder. And on the music school, we have weekly classes, online demo drops.
One-on-ones with Lucas, one-on-ones with other team
record label opportunities. So check it out at teammbl.com/join.
And also, head on over to the after party right now with Buzz Lowe, who just won, or last year won, Afrojack's
Global Remix Battle.
Tips and tricks there.
On how to do it. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
like and subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Bye.